Forgot how to do this. Hi. How are you guys doing? My name is Ingeborg and this channel is called A Stitch Too Far, and I talk mainly about my stitching and what I've been reading and whatever else is on my mind. It's been a while. I haven't looked up when I last posted. I think it was early spring, and now it's June, so oh yeah, I did something too. I'm clumsy. And I have been very busy, or I have had migraines, or I didn't feel like filming. But today, since I did something clumsy yesterday, and it's raining, I don't know if you can hear that, but I decided, well, maybe it's time to pick up that pile of stuff that I've been lying on my dresser for filming. And here I am. Anyway, this is very impromptu, so I'm just going to show you whatever I've been working on in the past, however long it's been, I think a couple of months, and tell you what I've been reading and why I have a bandaged hand, maybe. And, oh yeah, something else, but let's finish with that. Anyway, I have been stitching quite a lot. My stitching bug seems to be back in full force, which I'm very happy about. I think I've been helped by some of the stitch alongs that are going on. Oh gosh, what's the channel called? The Sunshine Stitchers. I'm sorry, I'm bad at remembering names. But they inspired me. They have a stitch along where every month they pick a designer and they stitch whatever they'll have in their stash or buy from that designer. And I'm not sure, it might have been May or April, was Ink Circles, which is one of my favorite designers for cross stitch patterns. So I happily joined along and I actually finished 2 smalls, which I will show you right now. The first one, I don't have a picture because I was looking for the pattern and I think I have it in paper format, but I stitched with Pattern Keeper, so it's probably upstairs with my scanner or something. But anyway, I will, oh, I'm lying. Ta-da. Yeah. Ink Circles, Athena Noctua, which is based on an old Egyptian coin, classical. Well, sorry, it's showing you the price tag there. I stitched this on 40 count felt. I wrote it on the pattern this time, so I actually remember. And I think I used the recommended colors. Now I just have to find the finished piece because, of course, yeah, here we go. I think I stitched what I had in my stash of the recommended Gast, Gentle Arts, and the rest are DMC, so I might have had it all by the looks of things. And this is my results. I didn't stitch the border. I don't like repetitive stitching, and I didn't feel it needed it because I might actually frame it as a round piece so that it would actually look more like the coin. But this is my finish. I so love this. Yeah, really pleased with that. It was a relatively quick stitch because it's tiny. It's 81 by 81 stitches if you actually count the border as well, so doable for me at least. And I also stitched another small piece that I had that I loved when it came out, which is the Queen That Was. And I stitched this on 40 count dusk by xJudesign Plus, and I replaced some of the colors because I wanted to stitch the crown in metallic, so I used not acrylic but a petite treasure braid for that, because I'm not a fan of acrylic on 40 counts. Kynic, I should say. And I replaced one of the DMC greens because it was too similar for me to the other greens. So let's see where I have that finish. It's over here. I love it. And it was only when I finished it and put it away that I saw that I forgot to add a little leaf on this side. But oh well, let's just say that blew away. Absolutely love it. The crown is pretty sparkly, and she also has a gold tooth, which is hard to see on video, but it's definitely there. And yeah, really pleased with that. No idea how I'm going to finish it, probably in a little pillow for display. But since I haven't fully finished anything for quite a while now, I'm not sure when I will ever do that. So, one of the other things I picked up because of that stitch along by the Sunshine Stitches was something by Long Dog Samplers, because the month that they did the ink circles one was also the month that they had Long Dog Samplers as another designer that you could pick from. And since I finished 2 ink circles, I didn't want to start another one, and I didn't want to start a big project. So I picked up something you haven't seen in years probably, because I kind of lost steam on that one, and that is Death by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Samplers. And this was gifted to me. I will try and find who gifted it to me and post their Instagram account. I'm not sure if they're still stitching. I think it was Aussie Stitcher. But yeah, I picked it up again, and I have been enjoying it, stitching on it. So I might pick it up more this year. Since you last seen it, I don't know if you remember ever seeing it, but I added, I'll have to see if I'm on frame. Okay, I added this border and these pieces. So quite a bit. I think I stitched about a week on that. And yeah, I'm stitching it in 2 colors and really enjoying it. And yeah, I think I'm ready to pick it up again. Oh, sorry about that. And then I have been working on my train project, because I have a new project for my work where I have to travel by train a lot, and I am finding it fun to actually spend an hour and a half stitching on the train. And that helped me finish this scissor fob. Let's see if I can get out the page. It's a Michael Powell kit that I purchased a long time ago on the Handwerkbeurs in the Netherlands, and I was working on on this one, I think, this one with that back. It's supposed to be a key fob and a scissor fob. And it is true. I've heard many people say Michael Powell is a bit weird to stitch, because it all looks like a colorful blob, and then when you put the back stitching in, it actually turns into a real thing. And that's definitely true, for me at least, because these are the results and I absolutely love them. And without the back stitching, it did look quite like colorful blobs. Yeah, so this is worked on a gauze, so it's like a canvas kind of fabric, and I absolutely love it, and I will have to turn it into a fob someday. Okay, what else? So now that means I have a new train project, which is in my little bag, and which I carry with a little tin with my scissors and stuff. And it is, I don't have the pattern here because I have a digital pattern, so I will insert a picture of my boobies. Here. And this is how far I am at the moment. It is the Beach Dance by Lindystitches, the blue-footed boobies. I'm working on my second booby, and I'm contemplating if this is done after I finish the booby or the bird, because I don't think I want to stitch the border, and I don't think I want to stitch the flowers. So yeah, I did do some color changes because I wanted the head to stick out better on this fabric. This is a vintage mocha by Zweigart, 40 count. And I wanted the white, I just picked a white that was in my stash. I think it's, let's see what it is. Yeah, it's another Gentle Arts oatmeal. And I really like the slight variegation it gives. It doesn't look too stripy, but it is variegated still. So yeah, and for the brown I have, I don't know, some variegated thread. Yeah, really enjoying this, and nothing more to say. I've been working on it. It's nice to have big spaces to fill when you're stitching in the train, because you don't have to switch out a lot of colors all the time. I do have my sexy glasses on, of course, but nobody's ever remarked about that, so I guess either they're scared or too overwhelmed by my sexiness, I don't know. Anyway, that's that. And then I have started two things for another stitch along that's going on at the moment for Pride Month. Actually, yesterday we have Pride Week this coming week in the Netherlands. It started yesterday in Rotterdam with the Pink Saturday. And I've been stitching along with the Stitch for Pride stitch along that these 20 stitches created for us. I will have a link to their information in the description box, just along with all the other information of the projects that I talk about. And they have done a lot of work in educating and learning, teaching about all kind of aspects of the Two-Spirit LGBTQIA plus community, and I'm very thankful for that. So I made a donation to our Ko-fi, and if you are learning from them, to their Ko-fi I should say. And if you are too, then I would encourage you to also make sure that people are paid for their work. The thing that a lot of people are stitching on this Pride Month is the cell that was created by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. Move forward with love in love. It's I will also include a link to his page. And this is how far I'm along. I'm stitching this on the first fabric of the month that I ever got from xJudesign. And I always wondered what on earth am I going to stitch on this, but this is the perfect fabric for any kind of pride and colorful pattern. So this is perfect. I'm really enjoying it. This is a 40 count linen. And yeah, I'm getting along very well until yesterday I did this. Because I was trying to cut off a thread, this one, and I dropped my scissors, and wanting to catch them, they kind of hooked onto my chair, and with the point sticking up, and as I was coming down with my hand, I pinched myself or I stabbed myself with my own scissors. And since they are embroidery scissors and they are very sharp, they went in nicely. I was really lucky that it didn't hit any vein or tendon, but yeah, it did pierce my hand quite a bit. So I still have this on because I wanted to put pressure on it, and I have kept it for the night just to be sure. Later today I will take it off and probably will be fine, and I can just use a band-aid. But for now, yeah, I'm looking like I don't know what. And I'm looking like a clumsy doofus. That's what I'm looking like. Anyway, love that piece. And the other piece that I started in with this stitch along was something that Shaded Stitchery came out with, and I loved watching their progress while they were test stitching. And that is, oh gosh, I don't have the name of the pattern. I'm gonna have to look that up. 1 minute. Let's see. Okay, it's this. Oh, no. I'm telling you, I'm a clumsy doofus, okay? It's this one, Data Portraits in Paris, 1900. This is based on a W.E.D. Bois study about African Americans, and I absolutely love this kind of stuff, and I especially love anything related to data that is turned into stitching. And this is important because representation matters, and that's why I'm stitching it, and I'm absolutely loving it. And yeah, nothing else to say about that. I will link their store as well. They just came out with a beautiful Juneteenth pattern with an actual small freebie. If you don't want to stitch a big pattern, you might want to consider stitching a small pattern because, again, representation matters. Then I have been working on I have another finish. And I have to get up for a second to grab my thingy. Of course. I'm a clumsy doofus. Anyway, I finished my Anne Frank piece by Gira. I want to say her name right. Kyoko Maruoka is a Japanese designer who designed this beautiful piece. And then Ellen, Peppy is Happy on Instagram, charted a version with this quote from Anne Frank in Dutch. And she graciously allowed me to use that. So I did. And I work on this every May 4th and 5th, because those are the days that in the Netherlands we commemorate. On the May 4th is our Remembrance Day, where we commemorate everyone who gave their lives or were murdered since World War II in any kind of war or peacekeeping conflict. And then on May 5th we have our Liberation Day, and we celebrate freedom. And I always think those are great days to stitch this kind of thing and use it as a contemplation. And since I was in the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., and I had this, they offer you an option to take an identification card with you during the exhibit and explore, because the exhibit explores different stages of the development of Nazism. and the impact on the Holocaust. And they give you an option to take an identification card of someone who lived through that and learn about what their life was like in those different stages of increasing Nazism and the Holocaust. And I took Ruth with me during that exhibit, and ever since I have held her close whenever I was stitching on this. So now that I finished it, Ruth is on my stitch shelf and is keeping me company there. Ruth was in the same camp as Anne Frank was, but she luckily survived. I'm just gonna say Ruth because I want to respect their privacy. This is my finish. I did not change anything except the wording in Dutch because I absolutely love this, and all the details that are in there. It shows clearly that they are aware of what diary is and what it is about. There's all kinds of symbolism in it that is related to the diary and to Anne Frank. And yeah, very pleased with how this turned out. Well, then I have one more finish, but I will keep that for last because it's a biggie. So first let me talk about the things I've been stitching on. Otherwise, I took out Takapuna Beach for a little bit and stitched on it. I'm about on this diagonal here. So just a little bit more of the tree to do, and then the rest will be ocean or sea and a lot of beach. The beach at the moment is very confetti heavy, and so are the trees, so I'm not enjoying that a lot, but I'm plucking along and I'm getting somewhere. Here's the bottom half as I showed you before. As you can see, this is the last part of the tree going in, and this is the big shadow of the tree coming in. Yeah, I do enjoy this. I'm about 2/3 of the way now, so just a couple of years more. And then I've been working on Japanese Maiden. This is a dimensioned gold kit, which is unfortunately out of print. It's such a good design. I really love it, and I'm very lucky to have it. And this is where I am at the moment. As you can see, I've been working quite a bit. The last time I showed you, I think I mentioned that I was going to start with backstitching, as you can see over here and over here, which is a good thing. I'm getting ready to, I stitched in the crane, so I'm getting ready to backstitch this part, and I might backstitch the hat because that's done. So I'm gonna try and get ready for the face next, which will be amazing. And yeah, this is about 1/3 of the way, so going very fast. There's a lot of half stitches in the background here, so that's why it goes relatively fast. The lower half is all full stitches, mostly because of her clothing. So yeah, that's going to be quite a bit of work still to do. But yeah, love it. And then I forgot again to get the cover picture, but I will insert it here. This is Rajasthan Lotus Pond by Chatelaine Martina, who sadly passed away a few years ago. But this is a project that I started because when I started stitching, I was really looking for something to stitch to represent the travels that I've done, and especially my travels to Rajasthan. I so love that area. It's a beautiful place with beautiful people, with beautiful colors, with beautiful architecture, with incredible food. And so I've been looking for something, and mostly I come across designs which involve the Taj Mahal, which is absolutely lovely. It's a beautiful place, but it didn't really, for me, capture what I was looking for. And then I found this, and it is absolutely perfect, and I've been working on it for quite a bit, and it's finally done. The stitching is done, the back stitching is done, the beading is done, and I'm very proud of it. I am very happy with it, and here it is. Oh God, isn't it beautiful? I so love the colors of this. So backstitching helped because this used to be a big yellow boob and now it's a lovely, there's an Indian word for it. I'm sorry, I forgot what it is. I will insert it here. But this is, I think, very likely based on little pavilions out in the lake near Jaisalmer, and I was at Jaisalmer, so that makes it especially special for me. And what I did change a few things because the original design asks you to fill in this box, this ornament box where the elephants are in, with a blue backstitch. And I just thought that made the elephants kind of disappear, and I wanted them to pop because I love them. So I left that out, and I also changed this because this is originally charted in a pink elephant and this is in a blue. And I like symmetry and I don't really like pink. So I changed the pink colors here to match the blues in the other side. Other than that, I did not change a lot. I struggled with getting the colors right sometimes for the back stitching, so I kind of guessed my way through that a bit sometimes. But other than that, I didn't change anything, and I absolutely love it. I collected the threads myself because I find that a lot of them are from English dyers that are cheaper to get in Europe than through European Cross Stitch in America. But the bead pack I did order from European Cross Stitch, and that was perfect. I did not have any problems with it. There was plenty of beads in there and they were all correct as suggested by the design. So yeah, I am so pleased with this. I made photos because I posted this in the Chatelaine group on Facebook, and someone from the company got in touch with me and asked me if they could use the photos on their website, so they might be on there already, I don't know. But yeah, because I mentioned in the Facebook group that it's very rare to see anybody stitch this, and a lot of people commented when they saw it that they didn't even know that it existed. So I felt I really wanted to show everybody how beautiful it is, and I'm glad people received it so well. And yeah, now I can start thinking about my new chatelaine. It will probably be the octopus cave, because the treasure cave, because I think I have most of what I need ready to go for that, except a fabric. So I don't know. Fabric is always hard to find the right thing for a chatelaine, but I'm thinking about a very dark blue mottle because I want to reflect a really deep ocean. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, that's everything I stitched on as far as I can remember and as far as I kept track. Now, I've been reading, so let's go through that. And then I have another thing to talk about at the end. Let's see, Goodreads. I'm on Goodreads. It's a really great app that I enjoy using to keep track of what I've read. And there's also a reading challenge for yourself in there to see if you can read as many books as you set out to do in a year, which is fun. I really enjoy it. And I also like seeing what everybody else is reading. And I really appreciate it when people actually rate what they've read. And it's even better if they actually leave a little blurb about what they thought of the book. Just saying. So, let's see, what have I been reading? Oh, I finished a book yesterday that was Chef's Kiss. Date finished. Okay. So I'm not sure when I last talked to you. I think it might have been this one. So I might be repeating myself a bit here, but I can't. That's not my problem. So I read this is a memoir, The Late Homecomer, a memoir from a Hmong family. This was very intriguing. The Hmong people in Vietnam, I had heard a bit about them, but I wasn't really aware of them and what they went through during the Vietnam War. And this is a story about a family, a Hmong family, and their experiences while they were still in Vietnam, and their experience when they fled and finally ended up in the United States. And I enjoyed it very much. It was for me the first time learning more about their history and their situation. I used the audiobook as I always do, or mostly do, and I thought the quality of the audio wasn't always that great, but that was more to do with the studio than to the reader, who's actually also the author. Because I noticed a lot of sound changes. Suddenly it was louder or softer, that kind of thing. But yeah, if you're looking for something to just give you a little bit more insight in the background of Hmong history, this might help. Then I read Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booby. This one. I enjoyed this. It is has a few trigger warnings with sexual violence, drug use, that kind of thing. But it was a really great setup story. It is sort of a detective story, where also the protagonist is confronted with making choices about what they stand for and their community, how they want to deal with their community. So that was interesting. There was kind of a plot twist that I did not quite see coming, so that was good. So all in all, I really enjoyed it. I thought the narration was good, and I would definitely recommend it if you're into sort of young adult detective story setting. Then I read The Hangman's Daughter. I enjoyed it. Oops. It's translated from German, so may have been better for me to read the German version, because translation always sort of something gets lost in translation sometimes. I enjoyed it, but I have to read it back because I didn't give it I think I gave it 3 stars. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't like it. I enjoyed the story. It was nice, perfect kind of murder mystery in a 17th century small European town with some kind of witchcraft superstition involved. What I did not enjoy was the narration was a little bit too knowledgeable with a modern view. So there was a lot of the protagonist clearly had issues with faith versus science, and for that time, that was quite not heard of. 17th century. So that kind of threw me off of the story. But other than that, it was a great, perfectly fine story. Then fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I saw the movie a long time ago and really enjoyed it, and I thought, well, might as well read that book. I enjoyed the book. It's very, basically exactly, no, not maybe not exactly, but very close to the film, or I should say the film is very close to the book. Um, um, I had some problems with it though. What I wrote about it is that the small town charm covers up some blatant systemic racism in the story. And that's my main conclusion from the story is charming story, great characters, but problematic in the core, and it hasn't aged well. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So you want to talk about race by someone whose name I find it hard to pronounce, but it's Ijeoma Oluo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I I kind of felt like I needed to cleanse my palate a bit after the previous book. So yeah, this is a great anti-racism book if you're interested in learning about being anti-racist, basically. I can only recommend it. Then City of Brass. Oh yeah, I enjoyed this one too. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It is a fantasy story. It is highly based on Middle Eastern history, worlds, traditions, culture. It involves things like jinns, for example, but it also has a kind of Mughal Indian vibe, so that also reminded me a bit of Rajasthan. It is basically, I felt like it was inspired by Aladdin. You know, poor person ends up accidentally summoning a jinn and finds themselves ending up living in a castle. But it goes further than that, and I thought it was a very interesting book. Fantasy is not always my cup of tea, but I thought this was very well done. It was believable. It didn't feel too convoluted, and yeah, it's a series, and I'm really excited for the next book in the series. So yeah, if you enjoy this kind of fantasy setting in this sort of Arabian Nights kind of setting, I think you would like this. Then, House on Endless Waters. I've read a lot of books, guys. I'm sorry. This is written by I think he's an Israeli author. It is sort of a double story, as in it's taking place in the current time as well as historic time, and the stories sort of interweave, which it's done in a way that it's sometimes you don't realize you're back in the future or back in the past until you finish one or two sentences, and you think, oh, okay. That was confusing at some time, but I did enjoy the story. Enjoy is a really weird word to use because it is about Jewish citizens in Amsterdam during World War II. There's a lot to be said about what has gone on with during World War II, especially in the Netherlands. There's too much to say without making it into a lecture, but let's just say that the Germans were not really, were helped a lot by Dutch sense of order and registration. So they had very easy access to any kind of information about where Jewish people were living. That was not helped by the fact that the Joodse Raad, which was kind of a Jewish organization, I'm not sure what the right word would be, had a policy of maybe it would help save more lives if we cooperate a bit than if we resist, which turned out not to be the right choice. It wasn't helped by the fact that the Dutch had their own Nazi party, which welcomed the Germans and did everything they could to report any Jewish or any kind of wrong person to them. We had a great railway system which helped with deporting. So all in all, the relatively more Jewish people were, and other people were deported from the Netherlands than in other countries due to the high level of organization and the low level of resistance, which was also, there was resistance, but it was very more harshly dealt with than in other countries. So the fear was also there a lot. Not saying that I condone any of that, but it's the reality. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that this gives a very accurate feel of that time and the choices that people had to make. And yeah, I, especially as a Dutch person, I thought that was relevant to read. So if you're Dutch, I would definitely recommend this. Then I read a biography about Coretta Scott King, My Life, My Love, My Legacy. I thought it was very interesting to learn more about her role in the civil rights movement and her background and how she came to her convictions and how she dealt with the murder of her husband and taking care of her family and finding a way to preserve his legacy, which was very interesting to read. And in the end, there's actually some sound bites of her actually talking about her life experiences, so that was very moving. And yeah, if you want to learn more about her, I can recommend this book. Then the last book I read, which I gave 5 stars, is The Binding. Like I said, I'm not much of a fantasy reader, but oh my God, this is a good book. This is a good book. The story is well written. It is chopped into 3 parts, which sort of give perspective from different viewpoints about the same story. It is the most heartbreakingly love story that I've read in quite a bit. Actually, it gave me flashbacks to when I read, gosh, what is it called? Let me see. Sorry. Achilles? What was it called? Achilles? I'm looking it up. The Song of Achilles, yeah. It gave me similar vibes. Yeah, it was so good. And the story was interesting. It is set in sort of 19th century time, it felt like to me. You know, there's modern things, but it's not too modern. It's not like the industrial age yet, I feel, or maybe a bit. But it's set in, I think it's England, and so you get a very sort of historic novel setting, but with elements of fantasy that are not too unbelievable. Or, well, you know, you have to put a little bit of belief in it because it's about the fact that that books are not novels, but they are representations of memories of a person. So if you have secrets, or you have sorrows, or you have painful memories and you don't want to live with them, you can go to a binder and you can have that memory bound in a book, and then you don't even know it ever happened. You're not aware of it, and the binder keeps your memories safe. That's the premise of the fantasy part. So the story is about what happens if you find out that there's a book with your name on it. You find out that you have a deep, dark secret that you had bound into a book because you couldn't bear to live with it. What do you do? And also, it's about if you know what, how does it make you feel? Do you want to read what secrets you couldn't bear to live with? Are you worried about it being safe? Because there are binders that actually sell books and sell memories to collectors. So are you afraid you may end up being blackmailed with something you're not aware of? So yeah, that's the fantasy thread of the story. And then on top of that is a beautiful love story. And oh God, I can only highly recommend reading this. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I had a hard time stopping and going to bed. And then the next time I was really excited whenever I could pick up the book again. So that's all I've read. And that leaves me with the last thing, which is exciting. Oh yeah, I've been traveling as well. I went to Emma's celebration of her civil partnership, and that was wonderful. I had a great time in Liverpool. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the stories about that. And it was great to see Emma and have a chat and spend some time with her family and her friends and see a bit more of her life in Liverpool. That was awesome. And Liverpool is a great city. If you ever think about traveling, I can highly recommend it. It's a great town. There's a lot to do and to see. And if you're a Beatles fan, you're going to love it. Anyway, and I've been out with my two oldest friends who I met when I was in college. They were my roommates. And we celebrated our more than 30 years of knowing each other. So we went to Germany and had a wonderful weekend there. And also, if you follow my Instagram, you've seen me post about that. I like to post that kind of thing because not everybody can travel. Not everybody will have the opportunity to go to the places I'm going. So, and I always enjoy seeing where other people are going. So that's why I do that. What I don't do is post people that I don't have permission of to post their faces on Instagram. So that's why you will usually only see me or beautiful landscape or paintings and not my friends or their family. Anyway, rambling because I'm getting to the point of I'm finally traveling again. And at the end of last year, the family member that lives in Washington, D.C. gave me the wonderful news that they are getting married and that they were inviting me and my parents to attend the wedding if we were able to. And we said we didn't know because, but since then things have progressed drastically and travel to the United States is possible. And we decided, since my parents are getting on, that this might be the last time we get together like this with the family, so let's do it. And then I realized that while I would be there, it would be July, and in July is the New Jersey Flosstube retreat. And I had been on the list, and I luckily was able to accept and join. So I will be going to the United States in July and traveling from Washington, D.C. up to New York. to end up at the Flosstube retreat and then fly back. And I just wanted to let you know that I will be there, and I've contacted several people that I know are in the area that I will be traveling through, just to let them know and see if we could maybe hang out. And if not, then, you know, fine, but I couldn't resist, since I would be in the neighborhood, to at least let them know. So I'll be starting out in Washington, and then I will be visiting Baltimore for the first time, and I've been looking into it, and that looks like a great city. And there is a stitching shop there that I'm very likely to attend. I won't have a car, so I will be relying on public transport, but it seems doable to get to the stitching post. There is a bus going from the city, I think. So yeah. And then after that, I will be stopping in Philadelphia, which is another great time for a great city for someone who likes history like me. And there's a lot of great things to do in Philadelphia. I've been looking into it yesterday, and I was like, oh geez, my list of things that I want to do in Philadelphia is very, 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 very long. But yeah, and then after that, I will be spending a few days in New York, and then ending up in the New Jersey retreat, and then flying home after that. So if you are in the neighborhood and you want to hang out, or you want to go visit the museum with me, or have a drink, or, well, drink coffee, I don't drink, or lunch or something, let me know. I have my email address, or DM me on Instagram. I'm not always very responsive on Instagram, but if you have any suggestions on what I should visit, also, I would love any kind of suggestions. When I'm in Washington, I'm hoping to meet up with some stitchy friends there. I'm not sure if I can get to the stitching shop in Alexandria, because I'm relying on public transport, but I think I'm going to head down to where Miss Oh So Crafty is and meet up with her there. So maybe you can join me there, I don't know. Yeah. Babbling. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm very conscious about what I'm bringing with me. I'm ordering some extra self-tests and some extra masks, because I do want to travel safely, and I know that at the moment in the Netherlands there is a rise in COVID numbers again, and I want to make sure that I'm safe and that people around me are safe. So yeah. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. I might add some pictures in after this of my trips, if I feel like editing. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm coming to America again. Yeah, maybe we can meet up. I've noticed in the Facebook group of the New Jersey retreat attendees that there's a lot of people that I've met at the previous retreat that I went to in 2018. So I'm excited to spend some time with them again. And I have heard from some people that I didn't meet yet, that they are going as well. And I'm really excited to get a chance to hang out. So yeah, all in all, I'm really happy and look forward to stitching and sightseeing. And the only thing I'm not looking forward to is spending time at the East Coast in July, because I am quickly realizing how hot it's going to be. Oh well, at least you have air conditioning, right? So I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna make myself a coffee, because when I started this video I just had a cup, but now I'm ready for another one, and I'm gonna finally put everything away that I've been keeping on my cupboard all this time. And I'm gonna wish you happy stitching. I hope you are doing well. I hope this, whatever, how long this video is, gave you a moment of relaxation and fun, and maybe even thought. And I don't know whenever I will be back again, but I was thinking maybe when I'm in United States I might try and do some live Instagram things. I've never tried live YouTube, so I'm not sure if how to do that. But you know, time difference will be different, so Might be fun to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I don't make plans, you know, I break them anyway. Anyway, again, I don't know how to start videos, I don't know how to end them anymore, so I'm just going to say, see you next time. Happy stitching.